Well, hello and welcome to another Daily Dominion. We have a Saturday Kingdom on our hands, which means we are in all random territory. So this one features cards from, let's see, we have Rising Sun, we have Plunder, Alchemy, Intrigue, Cornucopia and Guilds, Dark Ages, then Nocturne, Plunder again, Seaside, and Allies, plus an event from Empires and an event from Adventures. So I believe that's how many expansions is that? That's 11 different expansions already shown here. And with that comes some very strong cards, I would say. We have Daimyo, probably the strongest card from Rising Sun. We have Grotto, one of the nicer, let's say, utility cards from Plunder. Then Den of Sin is a nice draw card, non-terminal draw. Along with that, we have an event that modifies any card costing up to 4. In this case, I guess this is only going to be either Wishing Well or Grotto. And yeah, that will mean that we don't have to worry about plus buy that much, especially since the plus buy here is Marquee, which is okay plus buy, but it might be a bit awkward if you already have a hand that is pretty large due to Grotto and Den of Sin increasing it. Although I guess Grotto can also decrease your hand size once again. And also, it's a bit awkward just maybe because of daimyos being the main village here. The other village would be First Mate playing yeah, the same action cards from your hand, like a few wishing wells, a few bakers, and providing you a village effect that way. Not that great, but of course, daimyo is just a throne room and will do so yeah, in a much better fashion. Now, one thing you might notice is that there is a distinct lack of thinning in this kingdom. If we look at the cards, there's nothing that tells us to trash anything except for ritual, which also doesn't really allow us to thin down our deck. It allows us to turn stuff into curses. So, yeah, earlier when I looked at the kingdom plot, and you can see it actually here, I was a bit surprised by the thinning quality being 1. The thing is that when I devised the thinning qualities, whenever there is a card that can remodel any card, or landscape for that matter, like the OG remodel, whatever, remake, something along those lines, or also transmogrify, I gave it a thinning quality of 1 because maybe there is a card that cannot trash coppers, but a card that can trash curses, like Hermit, for example. And in that case, Ritual would somehow be useful in thinning. But I gotta say, it's quite the stretch. It might be an edge case where the thinning quality of 1 is not even warranted. Like it is supposed to be weak, but let's say, yeah, Ritual doesn't really belong here. Let's have a look at the remaining qualities here. We have some Alt VP in the form of ritual, exactly. Then Daimyo and First Mate are villages, draw is in Marquee, Den of Sin, Wishing Well, Apothecary, and also First Mate in some sense. And also Daimyo's draw. If you play a Daimyo, your hand size neutral, but afterwards the next cantrip, for example, Baker, you play becomes a lost city, so suddenly you have 6 cards in hand afterwards. And gain-wise, it's a bit on the lacking side. There's no mid-turn gains, if I see this correctly, but you get access to plus buy pretty handily via Seaway and also Marquee. And one thing I forgot to mention, and one thing I almost didn't catch either, is that we start with Necropolis, Overgrown Estate, and a hovel, which are, there we are, which are the shelters. And this means we have some even more village effect via this necropolis. We get to trash out the hovel at one one of our later turns again and get to exchange it for a province probably. And yeah, if we were to trash the overgrown estate, we would draw a card. I don't think this is going to come up. I don't think we're going to for ritual at all. Now, what else is there? Opening discussion, I guess. So, opening wise, I think that the openings are quite different all in all because we have the Baker token, so that's something we need to consider. And we want to get our pair of grottos going as quickly as possible if we can. On the 4-3, I'm the least convinced about the opening. You could go for Apothecary, going for a potion. We are going to stick with those 7 coppers for the whole game, so Apothecary is not all too bad, although I could also see an argument for just going for Wishing Well and Grotto and getting started that way might be just a tiny bit better. I don't think it's worth spending the Baker token for Band of Misfits. The flexibility you gain is not that incredible. You just get to play. No, you just get to play Wishing Well with it. And actually, you might even argue. Earlier, I thought you also got to play Grotto with it, but Grotto is a duration card, and with the new errata, you don't get to play duration cards anymore. And that means once the Wishing Wells are gone later on, they will become completely useless. And also, in terms of first mate, finding your Wishing Wells, you probably want just Band of Misfits. You probably don't want any Band of Misfits anyways. So yeah, that's not optimal, I guess. I didn't really consider this. So on the 5-2, actually, what we're going to do might be going for potion or wishing well ourselves. Now I gotta rethink my decisions. And yeah, on the 3-4, I think Grotto Den of Sin, or on 2-5, even without spending the Baker token. Grotto Den of Sin is great because you get to hopefully draw into this grotto on turn 3 and start to get to the grotto train rolling. Yeah, what are we going to do with our 5-2? I guess what we can do is then just Seaway for Wishing Well immediately. And yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do. Of course, Wishing Well is also worse here with the shelters. I didn't realize. But hopefully we'll find a copper here, not the hovel. Yes. So we get to set aside 3 cards and just buy another Grotto. Is it worth spending the Baker token here to hmm, to set aside one more card? I think it is actually. Yeah, because this is going to remove one more card from our shuffle. And these early shuffles are among the most important. Although, how are we going to hit by big numbers then? Probably just buy a silver next turn. But if we miss the other grotto, then we're in for sad times. No, let's spend this thing. I don't think it's time for a daimyo just yet. We don't have the payload in our deck. Um, and yeah, we redraw this grotto. This is very good. Set aside 4 cards once again, and just buy a silver. Yeah, maybe even on the 4-3, you just open Seaway-Wishing Well. I'm not sure. Oh, that was lucky. The other cards are the hovel and the overgrown estate. Now we hit 6 with 2 buys. Do we want to still increase? I think it's still worth to increase our draw for the time being. Could also just be a baker, I guess, and paired with a daimyo. Actually, yeah, maybe it's already time for this kind of stuff. Might be a bit risky, but we have 4 cards set aside, so we're guaranteed to draw through. The daimyo can double play the baker. Last card is Wishing Well. So now it's either copper or necropolis. It would be better to set aside the necropolis, so let's name the necropolis here. And it's a copper, of course. Well, I mean, of course, probably being overly salty, because so far our wishes have come true pretty well. Um, and here, do we buy nothing? Do we just buy a silver? Next turn, I would like to get our draw going a bit better. So next turn should be a Den of Sin. But yeah, let's just go for silver here. Maybe I should have wished for copper just because, now, well, I think that was fine, whatever we did there. Again, the Wishing Well was the last card. Let's see, let's hope this is not the hovel. Okay, and we get to set aside 4 once again. Get to go for a Den of Sin and probably just a daimyo alongside. Yeah, that sounds good. So next turn we're going to draw again, and yeah, I think we don't need to spend those coffers yet. And we should be in a pretty good position here. Like, even if both daimyo's bottom deck, we get to Wishing Well for one of them, because we're going to draw 6 cards here. And they don't, so let's... So what did we discard? We had the Overgrown State in there. The Wishing Well is guaranteed to draw this other daimyo. And then we can daimyo, baker, draw our deck. And it's now time for more, well, Den of Sin for sure. And alongside probably just some more plus buy. So either a Wishing Well or a daimyo. Let's put one more Wishing Well in for the time being. Could well have been the daimyo actually, but let's just play it safe for now. This is going to wish for coppers probably. Yes, amazing. Okay, let's think a bit. This is the other silver, and well, I don't think it would have mattered anyways, but well, you can never be too sure. And I guess we just keep extending our draw and payload, or is this time for buying a gold actually? Just to rapidly increase our payload a bit. Yeah, I think I like gold, Den of Sin, and daimyo. The bad thing about gold is that it can't be daimyoed and like double played, whatever. But yeah, I think it's still the fastest way to increase our payload at this time. The Den of Sin might be overly cautious, might also just have been another grotto here, but yeah, I think it's good. We are increasing our payload in a nice fashion, and if we just play, well, let's wish for some copper or Wishing Well, I guess, could also be there. Yeah, it doesn't matter because we're going to draw anyways. And we get to set aside a bunch of stuff, play this Wishing Well, and one more Den, one more gold, one more daimyo. Do we even want this daimyo? And then we are, I would say we're set to go for provinces. Like double or triple province. The daimyos can always double play these Wishing Wells. Maybe another grotto would be good now. But yeah, okay, AI is building in a similar fashion, I'd say. Let's get as much information as we can first. So let's play those daimyos and then the baker. Now, the last card. Have you paid attention? We have a Den of Sin in there and a daimyo. So, maybe this was premature playing those daimyos and especially the baker. Oh well, no. Well, it doesn't matter. We just got to multiplay the wishing well, I guess. So it's time. Probably, let's build just a tiny bit more. We're drawing really well, so maybe just add more golds and one more baker, so we're not that reliant on finding at one baker for our daimyos to generate payload. And just go for Grotto and daimyo here. Grotto and daimyo, or just daimyo. Oh, I think I like the Grotto. Although, no, we're going to buy a province next turn, which is going to trash the hovel, so we will have one fewer junk card to set aside anyways. Maybe the Grotto can wait one more turn. We are going to have enough buys, I think. And it should be fine. Now it's turn 12. I think our deck is in a spot where we can slowly start thinking about provincing. Let's play all of these. How many daimyos do we have? I think we have one more daimyo, so this is fine. Let's double play one of those wishing wells for the fourth buy, or do we need the fourth buy? How much money do we have? We have 12 from the golds, then 16 plus 6. That's 22 plus lots of coffers. I think we just triple province here, double province. I'm questioning whether we need this buy. Let's say we don't need the buy. We just buy whatever provinces we have, and then because of the Baker tokens, we should be fine. Last cards are Overgrown Estate and Copper. And yeah, get to set aside these cards. I don't even know whether it's worth, probably it's worth trashing this hovel. But yeah, let's go for double province and another grotto. And then next turn we should be able to... Maybe this grotto is a mistake. Yeah, this grotto might be a mistake. Actually, this might just want to be a copper for more payload next turn. Because next turn we threaten like quad province, maybe? If we buy the copper. Yeah, I think might also be a bit greedy. But I think we might be able to do it. And AI goes for double province here. So what do we go for? Probably we don't go for any provinces this turn, because otherwise AI might go for triple. Let's play it safe and wish for... what is the most likely card now? Daimyo, probably. And that was amazing. Now we still have more daimyo, and we have two bakers with three coppers, but one is in our discard. No, two are in our discard. But no, we have four coppers left. Daimyo. Okay, great. Baker. Amazing. What a wishing spree. And now we get to draw up. Here, get to set aside all of these junk cards, and that's, yeah, more than enough for, wow, for quad province. I actually somehow miscalculated or misjudged how much money we would have here. So this copper buy, I guess, was completely unnecessary and just increased our risk of dudding. Actually, I think on the last turn we were rather close to dudding, but these amazing wishes with wait, what was it, with daimyo and then baker, they felt like magic. So we got a bit lucky there, let's say. But also, I guess we could have found more of our bakers earlier to just use them for draw. And yeah, so what could I have improved for this game? Well, that copper buy on the penultimate turn was really, really bad. Um, Apart from that, I think it was pretty smooth. We just built a deck capable of quad province, and then over the course of just 2 turns, managed to really bring it home by a nice double province and a nice quad province. Though I gotta say, also AI's deck was on the scarier side, but given that it only had one daimyo and it didn't have as much draw as we did. Like the marquee, of course, could have increased its hand size significantly, and it had set aside lots of cards on its grotto, I believe. Let me see. So yeah, sets aside 4 cards. I guess that's okay. And had played a Den of Sin, so AI was not doing that bad, but we just had more stuff going on with our deck. We had this double Den of Sin sandwich, we had this Grotto sandwich, and lots of daimyos for extra draw and also extra payload with bakers. And yeah, I don't know. That was pretty smooth. 13 turns, I'm pretty happy. I didn't expect this actually after building all the way up to the 11th turn and not buying any green. But yeah, sometimes that's how you gotta do it. And with that, I'd say I'll wrap this up and we'll try to catch you in the next one, whenever that may be. And until then, goodbye.